Star Trek just cleverly reversed the TNG episode that inspired Lower Decks. Over 30 years ago, Star Trek, The Next Generation delivered an episode unlike any other in the franchise at the time, Season 7's Lower Decks. Instead of focusing on the senior staff of the USS Enterprise D, it gave the spotlight to junior officers, showing the struggles, aspirations, and heartache of those often relegated to the background. The idea was bold, emotional, and groundbreaking. It humanized the rank and file of Starfleet in a way no episode had before. Decades later, this one-off episode became the seed for the animated series Star Trek, Lower Decks, a show that made the lower decker perspective a full-fledged part of the franchise. With its humorous tone, deep-cut references, and surprising emotional depth, Lower Decks has carved out its own niche. But now, in a brilliant narrative twist, Star Trek has cleverly reversed the original concept, flipping the lens back onto the senior officers through the eyes of those looking up instead of down. In the latest season of Lower Decks, a key episode focuses not on Mariner, Boimler, Tendi, and Rutherford, but instead on the senior officers of the USS Cerritos. Titled Old Scientists, the episode dares to do what Lower Decks once did in reverse: tell a heartfelt, character-driven story from the top of the chain of command. And in doing so, it becomes a smart, meta-commentary on how power dynamics, mentorship, and generational wisdom operate within Starfleet and Star Trek storytelling itself. A mirror image of Lower Decks. The brilliance of this reversal lies in its structural symmetry, where Lower Decks, the TNG episode, focused on four junior officers: Sito Jaxa, Lavelle, Taurik, and Ogawa, struggling to prove themselves and dealing with imposter syndrome, ambition, and sacrifice. The Lower Decks episode, Old Scientist, gives viewers a glimpse into how those in command manage expectations, carry the burden of leadership, and reflect on the legacy they leave behind. The crew of the Cerritos has always been an exaggerated foil to the prestige of ships like the Enterprise. But in Old Scientists, we see Captain Freeman, Commander Ransom, Dr. Tana, and Shaxs not just as caricatures or side characters, but as the seasoned, layered Starfleet officers they've grown to be. They're not perfect, far from it, but the episode takes time to show their thought processes, insecurities, and how seriously they take their roles in shaping the next generation. What makes this reversal clever is how it doesn't feel like fan service or gimmickry. It functions organically within the tone of Lower Decks while offering genuine insight into the leadership mindset, something the original Lower Decks episode only hinted at. Where Riker and Worf once observed their ensigns and debated promotions, now it's Ransom and Freeman pondering how to guide officers like Boimler and Mariner toward greatness. Mentorship in the modern Trek era. Another fascinating aspect of this reversal is its commentary on mentorship and intergenerational relationships. In Lower Decks TNG, the viewers sympathized with the junior officers and often felt frustrated with the cold distance of their commanders. Sito Jax's fate, being sent on a dangerous mission with little fanfare, left a haunting impression. The message was clear. Sometimes Starfleet is a cold machine that consumes idealism. But now, Star Trek is trying to evolve past that cynicism. In modern Trek, especially in Lower Decks, mentorship is more intentional, more emotionally present. Captain Freeman may be tough, but she genuinely wants the best for her crew. Ransom, while egotistical, is shown to take his role as a role model seriously. Even Shaxs, the lovable berserker, reveals a deeper concern for the well-being of those under his command. This change in tone, from emotionally distant to emotionally involved leadership, is a product of both the time and the show's tone. But it also feels like Star Trek is course-correcting. Inverting the original Lower Decks isn't just a structural trick, it's a values-based update. Leadership in Starfleet isn't just about making hard choices anymore. It's also about guiding, listening, and growing alongside one's crew. The legacy of Sito Jaxa lives on. Perhaps the most touching element of this clever reversal is the subtle way it honors the past. Sito Jax's story ended in tragedy, a loss that deeply affected fans and Picard alike. In Lower Decks, her name has been mentioned more than once, cementing her as a symbol of the unseen heroes of Starfleet. In Old and Unspoke,